Hey, good evening. Let's see here. Shub Sandia, um, Mesa Al Hayati, and also Salamat Malam. Welcome to That's Life with Evolution. I am your host, Evolution, and today I have a very special guest. I have Baish in the house, man. What's up, Baish?
What's going on, man?
How
How
you
you doing?
doing?
I'm doing
I'm
good. I'm doing great, actually.
I'm good. That's wonderful, man. Good to see you again. I know it's been a minute since we did one of these together. We were on uh, Jukebox's show last time we talked,
Hmm.
Stardom. Uh,
Yep.
so, by the way, happy birthday, Jukebox. This is Jukebox birthday today.
It's true.
Uh,
He's very old.
so, yeah, man. For the people that don't know who you are, do me a favor and do them a favor and let them know who you are and what you do, man.
I'm Baish. I am one of the creators of Return to Critics, where a podcast talks about like movies and shows, and then we have live episodes where we talk about like mental health or dating, relationships, and stuff. And it's me, my brother-in-law Eli, who's well, I'm gonna give you guys their nicknames: El Presidente. There's the Drip, there's the Gentleman, there's the Pretty One. My buddy Chunk was a part of it, but he moved to uh, Washington with his lady, so he's on every now and then. But yeah,
Okay.
Return to Critics. So
Oh man, that's
um,
great, man. How long you been doing that?
I've been podcasting for 4 years, but Return to Critics has been going for three.
Okay.
So it's going good. We're averaging about like 30,000, close to 30,000 people a week.
Oh man, that's great. That's
So yeah,
fantastic numbers, man.
yeah.
You also bounce? You're a bouncer?
I am a bouncer. I had at a club on just one night a week on Fridays. I do it to help one of my buddies out because he's a manager at the bar
Uh-huh.
and they're having problems. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll go. Because he knew that I used to be a cop. So he's just like,
Okay.
oh, just come in and I just stand by the door and throw people out that get too drunk.
Hey man, that's you bounce them out.
Pretty much.
All right, man. Well, basically what we do on That's Life with Evolution is we come up with, topics. Some people are on the far left, some people on the far right. And what we do is we present a little information and give them some wisdom, knowledge, whatever, a different direction they can travel to maybe help their situation out and make things go a little bit better. And today's topic is fees, expenses, and charges, unexplained um, reasons why they take our money.
Okay.
So, usually on our show or every day on our show, we get things going with Leia's question, and we'll do that right now. So, Leia's question for the day is, where is our money really going? Simple question, but leads to a lot of results that I found when I was doing my research. The biggest thing that I found was banks. Banks they're there for, us to like help us utilize our funds, save our
Yeah.
funds, whatever. But man, I came up with at least 7 ways they sting you by charging you fees and whatnot from the use of your own money in their facility. You know what I'm saying? Do you got anything you want to add before I get going on this?
Just I was part of that lawsuit like 3 years ago with Wells Fargo. That Wells
Mm-hmm.
Fargo a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were when you go inside and they sign you up for a new account, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
we'll put $25 in your account. What they didn't tell you is when they were doing that, what they were doing was opening the account as a like I guess a co-joint owner or whatever in
Wow.
their names.
Yeah, that's
So what
crazy.
they would do is take like 10 cent or 20 cent out, and people don't think that's a big deal. But if you figure someone taking 20 cent out of your account a day
A
after about a
day?
month, yeah, they were doing that by day.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so they got hit with like huge like fines. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
man. That's crazy. And that leads right into where I'm going with this because you would think that you could trust a bank, right?
oh yeah. Oh
Mm.
no, I don't.
So the first bank fees that I found was like a monthly maintenance fee or a service fee,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. They're going to charge you to use your own money, especially when they're taking your money while they got it in their possession
Yeah.
and putting it on the stock market and making ridiculous interest off of your money. Then they have the nerve to turn around and charge you anywhere from $4 to $25 a month, you know, for some type of maintenance fee or
Yeah.
bank fee. Uh, have you ever been charged that?
When I was with Chase, I don't bank with Chase anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very horrible policy if somebody gets into your account,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to prove that it's not you who did it. So you actually have to run someone down and put their feet to the fire to tell them that, okay, I did it. My credit union, like my Navy,
Uh-huh.
federal,
Mm-hmm.
and my teachers, like they don't charge you a monthly fee.
Right.
But like Chase and all those other banks, they do. So Chase was a $12 fee a month, and then I believe I forgot what other bank I had, but that was like $5 a month. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So they just basically taking money away from you because you decide to become a member or a customer with their facility, uh, which they're already, like I said, making tons of money off of you anyway
Yeah.
because they're running you through the stock market, getting 16 to 20, whoever knows, way more percentage than what they're paying you, which is little to none. Plus, they charging you on top of that. Uh, so the next one here is the out of network ATM fees. Uh, unless they're like a really big national bank that's got ATMs all over the place, it can run into a bit of an issue, man, because you ain't gonna just be around their little ATMs all the time, right? So, and it's a double hit because if you're outside their network, you get the charge that the ATM charges you, then you get the charge that they're gonna charge you.
Yep.
So you're getting hit twice, man. What are your thoughts on that?
It sometimes not that bad when you're like near home. When you're near home, like there's a bunch of ATMs with like credit unions like around me, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you go, it's like I took my wife to Paula. It's like a casino resort, right? There's no credit unions around there.
Wow.
So essentially, what it was like, I kid you not, the bank fee to pull money out. Like if you wanted to pull $20 out, right? It was a $6 fee to pull money out. Then it says your bank can charge you upwards to $3.95 to $4. So essentially, it's like $10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's just it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And like I said, in the beginning, should be a trusted institution for you to house your funds so that you can do what you need to do with your money. But they busy tearing you up, man. So the best thing to do, like you said, go to a credit union. But they don't charge you. It's free checking, free savings, and all that.
Yep.
So the third one is excessive transaction fee. Now this one kind of irritates me even more than the other two, because how dare you tell me how many times I can transact with my money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's banks out there that do that. Do you have an example for that?
I've never had a problem with somebody charging me a transaction fee. Back in the day when I was working private security overseas, I used to run into problems for the amount. So like when I went somewhere and like I forgot it was like a cruise or something, it was like me and my brother, and we spent like 30 grand, and it was like I got called like every 2 minutes. Is this fraud on your account? Is this fraud on you? I'm like, no, it's me. I gave my code. You can hear my voice. It's me. 2 minutes later, well, we see another charge for $1.25 on like some like small little thing, and like, oh, we wanted to make sure it was you. I'm like, I'm in the same area.
What?
I'm in the same. Like they declined my card.
Wow.
Because they wanted to make sure
you talked to them.
Yeah. And then I'm like, can you guys just open up my card? Because I don't need you guys to keep calling me. Like, well, we can't do that. Next, like, it's crazy because the next one we got drinks, and it was like $18. They called me again, but then he went on some like tour or whatever, and it was like two grand, no call.
Are you kidding me?
No. So it was just like,
so they gonna throw a fit off the little tiny stuff,
mm-hmm.
but let the big stuff go.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean that's like backwards, because if you were getting, you know, somebody was frauding your account or whatever, don't you think they would have called on that?
You would think, because I had that happen with Chase, where that's why I stopped banking with them. That someone, don't know how, had gotten a hold of me and my wife's joint account, and they had spent like $6,000 at a store, racking up some huge bill, right? Like, oh, this wasn't me. It's in 2 cities away. You know, I was at work and this. Well, we don't know that wasn't you. I'm like, did I sign for it? They're like, well, no. I'm like, did somebody run a card? They're like, well, no. I'm like, so somebody just give you information? And they're like, well, yeah. So I had to go like to detective mode, drive to the place, talk to the owner, talk to the person who helped the person, and it ended up being that person was getting people's card numbers. They were ringing up purchases in the store for like thousands of dollars, and then returning it and splitting.
So they could get the money.
Yeah. So the manager had found out about it and fired the 2 people that were doing it. So when I had that manager talk to the person at the bank, it still took them about a month to give me my money back.
Yeah, and that's another thing that this is irritating, because I was going to talk about that, but since you brought it up, we'll talk about it now. I had that happen to me. You know, someone charged my account. I get immediate notifications. So I'm hearing my phone ting. So I get up and look at it, because I was like at home asleep. And I saw that somebody had charged my car like seconds before that. So I called immediately and I was like, hey, this is going on. It's not me. I'm at home. You know, I don't know what this is or who this is. And then, of course, they took the money instantly. But it took me, like you said, months to get my money back, which is crazy. You know, how in the world can somebody get your money that quick and it take you that long to get it back? You know, I just think
it's crazy. It's like the government. Like the banks are the government. They're quick to take it.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very, very slow to give it back.
Which is ridiculous. And then the next one here is overdraft fees, and which is crazy, because the banks will allow the transaction to go through if you got overdraft protection, but they still gonna hit you with that fee.
Oh yeah.
So that's gangster, man.
Yeah, if you have a bank that doesn't have it in fine print, what they'll do is they'll tell you, like, some banks do every 12 hours, some banks do every day. So there's some banks that do 12 hours and charge you that overdraft fee every 12 hours. So let's say you're asleep and you get hit, and you wake up in the morning and you're trying to figure out what's going on, you get hit again. And then by the afternoon, if you haven't put the money in your account, like, let's say you're going through a rough patch, you don't have the money, it hits you again. So it'll keep hitting. I think it goes 5 times. Yeah. It'll keep hitting. So you could have an overdraft fee sometimes because I know bad mouth and Chase here, but their overdraft fee is $45. And their thing is every 16 to 18 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you can't get it worked out within like 3 days, like, you got almost $300 worth of like overdraft fees.
That's crazy. And you know, and that's like both of them organizations kind of working against you, because I had that happen. I set up a transaction, a monthly transaction through my checking account, which I'll probably never do again. But I set up the date and everything, you know, it was all good. It was lined up perfectly, but they took it early. You know, they took it early when they're supposed to take it. And instead of contacting me and let me know they was going to do it early so I could make it happen, they just kept hitting it. And so I go to the bank, you know, one day, and they're telling me I'm overdrawn. I'm like, what? For what? You know, there's money in there. And not only were they charging for them hitting the account, they was charging me too. So I'm getting like double hits, you know, and they just let it go. And I'm like, so when were y'all gonna stop charging me these fees, you know? So I'm like, that's crazy. You know, you didn't call me, you didn't let me know what's going on. You're just gonna keep hitting my account and charging me fees. So I went off about it. And it's like, well, we can return half of those fees, but we can't return all of them. I'm like, what? I was like, no. It's like you're gonna have to handle that all the way. But yeah, man, these organizations are something else, man. We wonder where your money going. Everybody trying to take it from you. And even before you get your own check, you get deducted for taxes and everything else. But when you're trying to, I guess, get approved for something like a house or a car or whatever, they're doing it off your gross.
Yeah.
We never see that gross. And they know that.
Yeah.
So it's all a game, man. We need to step our game up, I guess, as the people with the money that's being taken, because these organizations, they working together, man, and they benefiting off of us.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you know, but Black Wall Street,
Yeah,
we used to have like our own banks and all that kind of stuff. Well,
yeah,
like, I'm a history major, so I looked into that stuff like years ago, but those banks had no fees back in the day.
mm-hmm.
Like, those banks were based off of, like, when you were trying to buy a house in that city,
Mm-hmm.
they based it off of your employment, your years at the employment,
Mm-hmm.
and making payments on time.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. So that's how those banks worked, and their fees, they didn't really have fees. It was you paid to put your money in the bank, and like having that bank like stabilized there, that was all it needed. Like all the extra fees just go in there just to line other people's, just if you've ever seen like a congressional hearing with like the members of JP Morgan Chase or like Wells Fargo or anybody, it's hilarious. Like,
I bet
it's like if you watch it, them getting like their feet getting put to the fire about what they pay people and how they take fees out and all this other kind of stuff. It's funny just to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, because the customer is not what they're looking out for. No. They just trying to profit more. It's crazy. But yeah, man, I'm glad that they finally cracked down on those organizations that was doing that. Because they was obviously doing it to a level that was ridiculous. But it's still happening. Maybe at a smaller level. But but we have to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think the best way to go, like you said, is a credit union, because they're going to give you what's that word? Dividends. They're going to give you dividends on your money. They're going to pay you a little something if you let it sit in the account. Of course, they still drawing that higher interest off the market as well. Oh yeah. But at least you get something back.
Yeah, they're not trying to rob you.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they're robbing you, just not. They're robbing you to your face. Like.
You got any other examples that you want to bring about, man?
Nah, just I think I went against Chase enough right now, but like using like a teacher's credit union or like Navy Federal or something like that is like the best way to go, just because like they'll help you if you need to get a car or a house or something like a loan, and they won't like charge you crazy interest or your APR. So, doing that, me personally, I would stay away from like Chase or, Wells Fargo or Bank of America or anything like that. Hell, I have a buddy who does banking with Ace, which is like a check cashing place. He set up an account there, right? So essentially it's a bank, and he can get, direct deposit. They take $3 out a month for his fee. And they don't charge them any extra stuff for using like ATMs.
Okay.
So, sometimes going with like a check cashing place's built-in credit union or built-in credit bank is better than doing with the other like banks that you see like commercials with.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I'm gonna back that up with like, you got to make sure that they're FDIC insured, on the accounts with the and then you want to make sure that the savings accounts have a high yield that they promise, to give you and low fees and whatnot. So maybe like, let's see, the interest works in your favor. You know what I'm saying? You want the interest to work in your favor. So yeah, man. That's great, man. And then also, I think there was one more. Yeah, wire transfer. Even if you send a wire transfer, they're gonna sting you pretty hard on that.
Yeah.
Whether it's domestic or international, they can hit you for $16 to $35 on that. And
Well,
these fees are.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, before I used to wire money to my mom when I was in London, and I made the mistake of I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send her money each month and wire her money just so that she's good. And it was just like, I forgot which bank it was, but it was just like every wire transfer for every $200 or $300, it was like $30. That was the fee. So it was like if I was sending her like $700-800, I was giving them like another like 150 to 200.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense, man. He might he might have been better to risk the mail system,
right?
And put it in
with some money and just send it.
Yeah, and then they even charge you, like if you join a bank and then find out all the stuff that they're doing to you, and you want to exit early. If it's before 90 or 180 days, depending on the bank, they'll charge you a fee for that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I had that problem.
Yeah. Oh really?
Oh yeah. I got out of once again on Chase. I got out of Chase after that whole thing with the money. I left and I was like, all right, cool. There's no, I took all the money out. There's no extra money or anything, having interest or whatever. So I took it out and I told the people like my account's closed, right? Nothing can come in, nothing can go out, right? They're like, no, it's closed. You're good. We're sorry you couldn't work things out. I'm like, cool. 2 months later, I get something in the mail saying I owe Chase $100. And I'm like, how? Oh, well, something tried to take money out of the Chase account. And so since it tried to, we don't actually close the account for 6 months.
Oh, no.
And I was like, how does that make sense? And she's like,
it
well,
doesn't.
In the fine print, that like 30-page thing they give you on the e-signature, it's on one of the pages. I went through and read it. But yeah, like they don't actually close your account, but what they don't tell you, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they don't actually close your account. They tell you it's closed, but they don't actually close your account for like 6 months. So that's anything that goes in, or let's say you get like a dividend of like a penny or 10 cents, they tax that or they try to take that out.
That's
so
crazy.
Now you get an overdraft fee.
That's ridiculous.
So now you owe them money based off what you're doing. And that's how I was just like, oh, okay, cool. You just effing people like left and right.
Yeah, man, that's something else, man. So we got to basically protect ourselves from these institutions and do our homework, man, and make sure that we read them. They got all these laws and these papers that they want us to sign. Shoot, we might as well start putting our own papers together and have them sign.
Like, you will not take my money. You will not take it. It's gonna be on time.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And of course, we talked about ways to avoid those fees, a little bit by getting free checking and savings accounts. Also, some banks, if you open more than one account, they'll waive the fees or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you do direct deposit, some banks get away from the fees if you do stuff like that. But me, I keep a minimum amount in my account no matter what. It's like a cushion, just in case they have a little issue at the bank or whatever. Do you ever know anything about that or hear any stories about that?
I know some places. I don't remember which bank it was, but I believe if you kept like $1,500 in your account or $3,500 or something, that they don't charge you any kind of fee, and makes it easier, this and that. But like with most people, how everything is going up and everything's costing more money. Yeah. Having $3,500 in your account is, like gold. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's hard to do, and that's why they do it. Because they know most people can't keep that money in the account because, something breaks in your house, maybe someone loses their job or, braces, parties, or whatever, and that money has to be pulled out, then guess what? Here come the fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, left and right, and they waiting. They gonna make them happen. You know, matter of fact, that reminds me, I had one bank do that to me because I was checking the times on everything. They held my money. I made a deposit and had a
Mhm.
receipt. They held that money, even though it was direct deposit, it was cash. I put it right there, and they put it right there in my account. Had the receipt for it and everything. They held that transaction until after noon, and then they hit me with a fee. And I'm like, no, I'm done with you. You know, I went off on the manager, and they gave it back to me. But I was like, because I can't trust you, or or how they do things here. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm done. I just canceled that and got on, man. But it's a shame that you have to do things like that with banks. They're supposed to be there for us, but are
Oh no, they're not. It isn't like this. And I told somebody this like the other day, and this is how I know that I was getting old. And I was just like, man, like back in the day, like my grandfather used to tell me, you know, sometimes it was a handshake and a head nod, and you understood like at a bank or somewhere,
Yeah.
that you could trust that person.
Uh-huh.
Now it's a handshake and a head nod. As soon as you turn around, they're trying to take your wallet.
Bull.
So you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
That's a great example, man, and it's
yeah,
also the truth. You can't turn your back on. Oh,
yeah.
shoot.
Think your
Um,
money's good. You go to sleep, wake up the next day, and you're missing money. You're like,
yeah.
yeah,
So, another way to avoid bank fees is to sign up for the text alerts and the email.
yeah,
When every transaction that happen, they send you something on. I'm set up like that, man, because I'm like, I want to know what's what
yeah,
every single transaction. And then the obvious thing is don't spend more than you have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
yeah,
people get out there to the mall, and they see something and they want to try to move the money around or whatever. And, things can happen. The small
yeah.
snowball effect. But I don't do that, man. I go straight for what I want. I get it and I'm out. If I see
Oh man,
something, yeah.
I
If I,
I I try, but like I don't buy anything though. That's my
okay.
issue. That's
Okay.
my problem. Like I'll
Mhm.
go somewhere. I'm like, all right, I want to get this, and I'll go and I'll be sitting there like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and then I'll be like, do I really need it?
Mhm.
And then I'll walk around for a little bit, and I'm like, are my kids good?
Yeah.
Is my family good?
Mhm.
Do I really need it? And by the
Right.
time I get to the point of like I'm gonna purchase it, I'm like, I've talked myself out of it. Like I'm not gonna get it. And I just
Yeah.
walk away. So like maybe a week later, I still might get it, but like that initial, I usually don't.
Mhm.
I would love
And,
to be able to be like, all right, I want to buy this.
right. And I'm the same way. And even if I got the money like right there in my pocket ready to go, I do the same thing. I'm like, do I really need this? And do I really need this now?
Yeah,
If I don't have to have it, and then I start analyzing, like, well, what else do I need right now? You know,
yeah,
before I get something like this. So yeah, man, that's the right thinking actually, because they put so many things in these stores to get you like that, that are appealing to the eye or
oh,
whatever.
man.
So we got to be strong, man, because there's times that you can splurge like that, but most of the time is not the time to do that.
True. If I try to tell people like at my job, I'll tell like the younger like the cashiers or the other like girls are like, oh, I bought these Drake tickets, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like how much were they? She's like, oh, it was really cheap. I was like, oh, what's really cheap? I'm thinking really cheap,
Uh-huh.
$20, $30.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's
Right.
really cheap. He's like, no, they're like 1,400. I was like, you spent your whole check on, you know, and then I'm
Oh.
like, and then the next day at work for lunch, he's eating like cup of noodle soup. I'm like, how
Uh-huh.
much you eat lunch? She's like, oh, well, I'm broke for the next week. I'm like,
That
you
don't make
got to go
sense.
to that concert. She's like, YOLO. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm old. I'm old.
uh, my thought on that, man, is anything that costs $1,400, I'm gonna do as much as I can with it,
Oh yeah,
not just one thing. I mean, if it's like a down payment on something like a house or a car or something, which I really don't mess with that anymore. I try to just pay the whole amount anyway,
yeah,
period. You know, but yeah, man, I just like you said, I don't know if it's a sign of us maturing in our age a little bit.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. It is because I talk to even like my kids now, and I try to like some of my kids like have an old man mentality because I put that in them. But it's just more a point. Like I see other kids when they're talking to me, like, oh, I got paid $1,400 or $1,500 in my check for 2 weeks, and like I don't have to pay any bills at home, so I'm gonna go spend it, at the club. And I'm like, what you spending that money on? Oh, bottle service. Why?
Right.
No, it's the same. I tell people, like, I work in a store, like the same bottle of Patron that you can go buy for $45. They sell each shot for like 13.
Yeah.
So that's like 30 shots in there. What you doing? Like, nah, it's better. I'm like, how's it better? Like, because somebody's bringing it to you. Like
Right.
that's why it's better. Okay.
Oh
Gotcha.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not gonna happen on my watch.
Yeah. It's craziness.
Yeah, man. So I'm done with the banks right now, man. I'm gonna get into the utilities companies, man, because they do it too. How I'm gonna start that is, I mean, a few years back, they were like increasing their rates, like abnormal rates, like 25 to 45%. And I'm glad the government around here stepped in, and said, hey, no, that's y'all doing too much, But then they found other ways to do stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they're already taxing you whatever they're going to tax you anyway, because they're usually the monopoly, and they're going to get their money, or you're going to be without service. But I've been going through my bills and seeing different things that don't even belong and don't even remotely come close to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my my appraisal for my house. I got that. I looked through it, man, and blew me away, because I'm thinking I'm just going to see figures and percentages just for my house, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see state, federal, or county, whatever, tax and all that. But dude, I got to seeing community college, school district, public library. And I'm like, okay, my house is like built right in the middle of all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm paying taxes, right? Shouldn't I go to that anyway?
Nah, that's not how it works.
You know what I mean? So like it's coming, it's like, as a homeowner, am I being punished? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, I get it. In the house part, it's just more or less like they will hit you for fees. Like, so when I lived in London, it's different over there. So essentially, like, if you buy your loft or you buy your house or whatever, because I lived on the Isle of Dogs, so it's essentially how like Catalina is out here. It's pretty much an island. It's a bridge that goes over, but essentially, like, you only get hit with your taxes a month, not by the year, and it's not that much, and that's it.
Okay, so it's broken down.
Yeah, it's broken down everything by the month. Out here, like you're talking about utilities getting you, like Edison out here is the only light company. So they have done a thing where, like, I went from my light bill being $180 to $240, and then during the summer it was $625. And they're like, oh, well, the new rates for the peak hours now between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's a whole damn day. Like, we talking about.
Yeah.
So nothing's supposed to be on in my house from 10 to 7. Well, if you could like stop like the usage, I'm like, so I'm supposed to unplug everything. That's what you tell me. Unplug everything. He's like, oh, your air conditioner was running. I was like, no, it's not, because I have central air in my house.
Right.
So there's no air conditioner running in my house. It's like, it's usually just 70 degrees because the sun doesn't hit my house. And it's just like them. I looked at my bill and it was like, it went from like 4 or 5 things on my bill to like a whole stack of a page of like being charged for stuff that I had no idea that I had to pay for.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that kind of leads into where I'm going with the energy bill, man, because you're getting hit for everything from electric to water to trash, you know,
Sewage.
sewage, right, right.
Yeah.
And,
Paramedic. Ours is
yeah,
paramedic out here. We get hit for
man,
paramedic, and I'm
right. What the
like,
heck? What they got to do with your
like,
energy
oh, if you
bill?
call the paramedics, and I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but if I call the paramedics, does that cover me going in an ambulance? They're like, well, no, it's another $1,800 fee. So what am I paying for then?
Right, because they gonna send you a bill too, right?
So I'm
Shoot.
just like, what? I don't understand this. Like, you gonna charge me for a paramedic fee? But I asked them, what does it mean? And the lady did not know.
Of course they don't know.
I
They
asked her,
don't.
she was just like, oh, it's from the paramedics. I'm like, oh, no, I understand that. I said that to you. So now
Uh-huh.
can you tell me what that means? Well,
They
it's from the
can't.
paramedics. And I'm like,
They
okay.
can't tell you because it's unexplained. These are
Yeah.
unexplained charges that they're hitting us with. And believe me, I had that round too with everybody. And they probably know my name, first, middle, and last name because they know I'll get them.
Yeah.
but basically, these are unexplained fees and charges, man, and they just slap on us and try to sneak up under the radar. But I mean, when you mention, well, I guess I mentioned water,
Yeah.
but it's regular water, it's wastewater, it's
Mhm.
storm water. You know what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
can't it just be water?
Well, out here, you can get fined because there was a guy out here that was saving rainwater and saving the water he used in his house and
Mhm.
reusing it. He was recycling it over and over and over.
Okay.
And I don't know, the city came because they're like, this dude's only spending like $30 on his water on a big house. Like, how's this
Are you
happening?
serious?
Yeah, they came out and fined him, and they did it again because he didn't care
Uh-huh.
because he's an old vet and he was just like, this is BS.
Right.
And so they put a lien on his house.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
What? Man, that's Al Capone gangster, man.
Yeah, they put a lien on his house. Like, all right, cool. You don't want to pay us for using water? Cool. We got you.
That is, man, that is so messed up. What are we dealing with here, man? Wow. Wow. And then, of course, you can get into the cell phone and the cable business. And they do the same thing, man. They got all these extra little fees and charges, and
Oh man,
you know,
I'm paying a cell phone for like 9 people right now. So
woo,
it's not that bad. For T, I will give you this, like, for T-Mobile, for paying for 9 phones, I pay
mhm.
like 400, which ain't bad.
Okay, okay,
It's pretty good. I don't mess with cable. I haven't had
hmm
cable in like years because I
hmm
just have like my streaming services.
okay,
And for me, it's cheaper to have like 8 streaming services, paying them for the year, paying
yeah,
that like $400 or the $300 up front,
hmm
than paying like for cable that 120 a month on
hmm
top of, okay, we do need to have the streaming services to be able to watch certain things. Got to
right,
pay for that too. There's nothing on TV I can't watch. If I want to watch the Cowboys play, there's
hmm
ESPN, there's other stuff, other apps to watch the games. Like, I don't need it. So
yeah, man. Streaming is the way to go, and also how the cable people get you is with them boxes, man. They charge you every
oh
month
yeah.
for them boxes, man. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? So I even asked him one time, so why don't I just buy a box and it'd be mine? Well, we really can't do that.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can though.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can buy your own box, but they'll tell you,
Mhm.
oh, because you'll have to do this and this. I'm like, well, if I buy it, do I have to pay for your fee? Well, no, you don't. Cool. Just give me a box.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. So I'm like you, man. I'm on streaming. I got rid of them because um, this is how they did me, man. I was on a plan forever. I mean, I got on, I had a really good plan. I wasn't worried about it. It was good. It was working. And then after so long, I noticed that the channel package that I had before wasn't
Uh-huh.
all there. It was like I couldn't get access certain channels. I'm like, what happened? And then my bill was like increasing. So I called him. I was like, I'm not getting this package that I've been having for years. Oh, well, we changed the package. I'm like, so when was you going to tell me?
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we thought you figured it out as you were paying.
Right, right. So, and I was like, so why did it go up? I was like, you took away from what I had and you went up on it. What's that all about? So course, they couldn't explain that. Well, we just, we took away the package that you had, and this is the new package that we put you on because it's similar. I said it's absolutely not similar because I don't have the same stuff and I'm getting charged more. I was like, can you let me know before you started to try just switching my stuff up like that, So we went back and forth, man, and I ended up getting off of them and just, come get your stuff. So yeah, man, they dirty too, man. But like I said, I'm with streaming like you are, and it's not a headache. It's a lot cheaper, and you get the same stuff, same quality. So
especially if you pay by year, like you pay by the year. People are like, oh, it's $130. I'm like, yeah, but do the math.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
If it's $130 for the year, but it's $18 a month or $20 a month, you pay for 12 months. You've already exceeded, what you would have just paid, up front.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. And then on to the next, man. With service fees and whatnot, it's we talked about a little bit earlier when you ship stuff. I don't do overnight anymore. I don't do express anymore. And I don't even like to buy stamps anymore because stamps been going up every year. So if I can email and text you, guess what? You're gonna get an email and a text. And as far as overnight, regular mail. You know what I mean? And if I can get away with a book rate, because that's cheaper, I was like,
there you go.
Send it on the book rate.
Well, for us, for the ROC, like when we still are, but when we ship shirts, I just went to a point where I was just like, I went through, I forgot the sites on the thing, I can't remember right now, but essentially they do all of our shipping for me. Mm-hmm. So like, because I started doing it, I'm like, all right, cool. Like the shirt costs $19, but me paying for shipping was like $9. So like, it didn't make any sense. It just got aggravating, irritating. Like you said, like the postage and like, oh, it weighs a little bit more than what this is, so no, you can't ship it. So I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just stopped. Like you said, I'll send you an email. I'll send you a text. Like if you got like Venmo or Zelle, I'll Zelle you something. You go get something for yourself.
There you go. Yeah, man. I mean, we got to change up because they coming so heavy on the other end. We only got so much to work with, regardless of how much we make. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's never the gross. So, we getting what's left over after all the taxes and whatnot. And we got things that we have to do every day, every week, every month. Yeah. So we can't short those things. But after they get through with all these fees and charges and extras that they throwing in and, sneaking in, that depends on what we got left, if there's anything left, But yeah, man, on to the next subject, which is extra fees, which is like replacement fees. Yeah. So I had somebody literally steal the tags off my car. And when I went down to, get it straightened out, because I found out because I got pulled over.
Okay.
You don't really look at the back of your cars. You just hop in and keep going. And I was like, dude, somebody stole my tags. So I showed him my, my papers and whatnot. And he said, well, yeah, just go down and, get another plate. I was like, okay. I had to pay money to get a plate that was stolen from me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, really? I was like, I already paid for it. It was clearly paid for. It was mine, but I got to pay like some more, a fee, a charge because somebody stole my plate. So ever since then, man, I've just been getting personal plates because people typically don't steal personal plates. Figure that one out.
Well, yeah, you can't put personal plates on like my mom has a personal plate and someone tried to steal her plate, and the person who stole her plate lived like down the block.
Stupid.
I tried to put it on their car, and like she called the cops, and they got over there, and they asked the guy to like, so this is your car, and he was like, well, yeah, this is your plate, and he was like, well, yeah, like, oh, so you're Tory 86 something, and he was like, And my mom like came out. It's just people are just dumb, dude. It just
Yeah, man. They do weird, crazy, stupid stuff, man.
yeah,
But yeah, man, the same thing works for a passport or a driver's license. You know, and anything come up missing or lost or stolen, you got to pay a fee to get it back. You know,
true.
extra money, whatnot. You got any situations like that?
I've filled my passport before when they were stamping.
Mm-hmm.
I filled it up like 5 or 6 times, and
Mm-hmm.
each time I filled it up to go get a new one, they charged me another $110 to get a new
What?
passport.
Even though
Yeah,
it's good for 10 years?
yeah, but because I filled it up, I couldn't use it
Right,
anymore.
right. Because you
So
was traveling.
yeah, so I had to get another one. So I'm like, the whole point of the passport is to be able to travel, so you know
Right.
who I am, and I'm doing what you guys want me to do, using your
Exactly.
airlines, paying money, and
Mm-hmm.
now because I've done that and succeeded in what you wanted me to do, now I
Right.
need to pay more money to continue to use your service. So it's
That's crazy.
everything is a way to get money. It's like I tell
Yeah,
people
yeah.
now with like, off a little bit off that, like the like people getting paid now, like at McDonald's or whatever, being
Mhm.
excited for $21 an hour. And I'm like, why are you excited? They're like, oh, because it's $20 an hour. I'm like, yeah, but you do understand that when minimum wage goes up, everything
Mhm.
else goes up.
Yeah,
Like people
absolutely.
haven't noticed that food tax, meat tax, beverage tax has all gone up
Yeah, everything.
on everything. So, it's just they will tax you, you will have to pay more just because.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. And then they're doing that so that they can pay that higher wage, you know,
Yep.
to the people. It's not a victory. It's just a continuation of what's been going on
Yeah.
to keep you in a hole. All right, the next category here is kind of where you going. You flowing right through my notes here. Perfect. So the cost of gasoline, man.
Oh man.
It's way out of control. It's been way out of control. Even though here in the last week or two, it's went down a few cents. Uh, but what I've noticed is you got to look to get your gas on a certain day of the week, because during the week, like a
Mhm.
Monday, Tuesday, it goes down.
Yeah.
Towards the weekend, and
Goes back up.
don't let a
Yeah.
holiday come around.
Oh no. It's good because like I have my car, which is like a V8.
Uh-huh.
So like the gas is really good on it.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is a small person who likes big cars.
Mm-hmm.
So like she has an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
So literally like I can fill my car up with like $65, $66, like now with it being like 480 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Hers takes like 110.
Woo.
I'll sit there and look at her and be like, she's like, I like it. Makes me feel big. And I'm like, okay, well,
Got to pay that stinger price.
right?
Yeah, man. And of course, you already mentioned fast food, so I'm gonna jump there and then come back. Uh, Eating at fast food is ridiculous now.
Oh yeah.
In restaurants, man. I was trying to tell my sons, because they love fast food, they love eating at restaurants and stuff. I was like, look, man, I can take the same money, go to the grocery store, and fill up the cupboards and the refrigerator, and you be good for a week.
Yep.
The same amount of money here.
Yep.
Oh, but this is what I want, Dad. This is what I want. I was like, I get it this time, but not tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but like for
Yeah.
me, like, so we have like 6 kids, right? But now
Uh-huh.
the other ones are only like we have 3 left in the house.
Mhm.
But it's just like when you go out to eat, it's not just like you and your lady going out to eat. It's you and your kids, and then when you're sitting there, you're just like, oh, okay, something that might have cost $30 for you and her to eat is now at $70, $80 because now you
Yeah.
got 3 more mouths, and they don't understand. Like, well,
Mhm.
my boys are more understanding now that the twins. They're just like, okay, if we go to the store, like
Mhm.
they'll look and be like, I'm like, all right, $60 is what you guys spent, eating out last week, right? They're like, yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna go to the store and you're gonna spend $60 on food. They got food for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And they were like, they looked at me, they were just like, oh, like that, you know, when that light bulb comes on.
Right. Now they get
happened.
it.
They were just like,
yeah. It makes a big difference, man.
Yeah.
When you shop, how you shop, and what you shop. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go back to clothes, man, because when you say kids, and how kids shop for clothes, I think you mentioned about the concert ticket earlier.
yeah,
But man, my son, I'm proud of my boys, man, because they go out and they get their own jobs and they make their own money. I ain't got to worry about that. But when it comes to them getting that check, my youngest son, man, he love them shoes, and you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
And he gonna spend $200-300 on a pair of shoes, man. And then when he run low, he's like, Dad, I seen these shoes. I'm like, okay, what? When that?
Yeah.
Because Dad, you know, I don't even spend that much for me on some shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get nice shoes, look like I spent that, but I didn't. But he get them shoes. I'm like, you paid that for those?
Yeah.
I was like, no. But yeah, man, clothes is the same way, man. If you shop the right way, you can still get some really nice stuff.
Yeah.
But you just have to know where to find it. I mean, you know, I was sleep on the clearance rack some years ago, but they my friend now. But
There you go.
I don't just go to any clearance rack. You know what I mean? I got to go to the right ones because some of those clearance racks, they no.
So for like me, like I've gotten to a point where like I've designed enough ROC shirts that I wear my own brand now.
Oh, there you
Like,
go. There
I just
you go.
wear straight ROC stuff. Like the shirts, like there's a shirt with like my face on it that I wear.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my and for me, it's easy for shoes to buy shoes, but not to find shoes because I wear a size like 16 double wide, so it's hard to find shoes. So I do find shoes and they're like $40-50. I'm like, cool, bet. I'll take them. That's what I've told like my kids. Like my boys are only 14, but they have had a summer job the last two years, and they spend their money on, you know, clothes and stuff, but they don't get crazy like with shoes or nothing like that.
Right.
They're just usually like, oh, I saw my friend wearing this, so I want to wear that too. So the only problem I have with clothes and stuff is my youngest daughter because she's spoiled. So
can't really get around that one.
Yeah, she's 13 and she's spoiled. What she wants, she usually gets.
Yeah. I get it, man. You know, as a parent, we have a little soft spot, and they know where it is. They always, you know. So on to the next, man. And this is like shopping in different locations to, you know, alleviate some of that sting or that money and them charges we getting. Major malls, man. I hardly ever go into a major mall anymore because that's like the highest rate you're gonna pay. Period. You know. A shirt that you would think would be $10-20, you're gonna drop $50-60 for that same shirt in the mall. You know, easy. But I mean, even at the mall, you know, they got discounts and sales, and even they might have a clearance rack or two way in the back. But you know, you can find some stuff in there, especially on the holidays. But me, I shop after the holidays because I love those 50% off, 60% off, 75% off. So that's what I do, man. That's how I beat it because it's the same stuff. And if you're patient and can wait a couple days or a week, boom, you know, you just beat the inflation.
Like I get gifts for people for Christmas, but I start Christmas shopping in November. Like people don't understand this. Like Black Friday and Cyber Monday are not things.
No,
those things aren't real because you got to look at something like this. Like Target got caught doing it, where they had like I don't know if you saw this, but they had the price of something, and they upped it $100, and then did the Black Friday sale and put it the same price back over it, saying it was $100 off.
Yeah.
So you know people don't understand that Cyber Monday and Black Friday. It's just what they do 2 weeks before is they up the price and then drop it back to the original price. Like when those things come around, that's why I don't fall for it. I'm just like, I'm gonna get rid of everything now.
And most of this stuff is marked up 200-400% anyway.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I'm like, if I don't want to pay that price for that, I'm not.
True.
You can charge whatever you want to charge for, but if I don't want to pay that, I'm not paying it. I'll go somewhere else until I find what I'm looking for the right
Yeah.
price. I know that. What is it? Demand.
The supply and demand,
Yeah, absolutely. Supply and demand, man. I'm a firm believer of that. I've even told some people that at one of their establishments, well, we can sell it for this. I'm like, yeah, you can sell it, but you ain't selling it to me, not today.
Yeah, right. Like, I can go somewhere else and get the same thing, but a little bit cheaper.
Right. Yeah, and shoot, some of my favorite spots is online, and wherever it come from, I don't care. But if I'm getting what I want, it fit me when I get it, and I save some money, and it look right, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
I don't limit myself because the game is strict now. You know what I mean? It's real. These people are bold and upfront about how they charging you and taxing you and feeing you. So we got to be bold and upfront about how we protect our money.
Yeah.
So you got anything for
that? Just more or less like the same thing with you. Like, I'll look online for something if I really want something or I'm looking for something or my wife wants something. And then if I see it one place, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll save that and then I'll go somewhere else. I'm like, all right, it's cheaper here by like $10. And I'll look at what's the shipping on it. If it's the same thing, then I'm going with the one that's cheaper. It's more of a point, like, just because it costs more don't mean it's better.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because there's some garbage stuff out there that costs way too much.
This is true.
Oh, man. And then I think the last thing I'm going to hit on is how we're taxed, man. We get taxed so heavy. We're taxed on our money before we get it. We taxed on everything we buy. And then come tax time, tax return, they're going to tax you again. I mean, it's just tax. And every year it goes up. They pull something out, like you had a benefit last year that you don't have this year. It's just a heavy game, man, that we have to play. Whether we want to play or not, we're stuck. You know what I'm saying? We're in the middle of it, but we got to do what we have to do to stretch our money out and keep it going, keep it growing so that we can make things better, man. Because every year we trying to advance too. We don't want everybody to advance on us. We want to advance. We want to advance. We working hard. We out there grinding, getting it. But we don't want to see 90% of our money go somewhere else when it should be staying in the house. You know what I mean?
True. Like, I get taxed like crazy. Or I used to get taxed like crazy to a point where it was like at a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go off the grid. I'm going to go live in the mountains. I was a Boy Scout, I can make a fire. I can build a house. I'm just gonna go out there and chill. But then I'm like, I'm gonna miss my Cowboy games or my Yankee games.
Yeah.
Like, my wife ain't gonna follow me out there because she's gonna be like, what the hell's going on? Like, so I just do what I have to do now.
Yeah, man. And to make all this right, I've been stinging the people to be taxing, but there are things that I'm willing to pay for. You know what I mean? It's like certain restaurants, I know they good. I know what I order is going to be good. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be, within the guidelines of the food industry and whatnot. I know I ain't got to worry. You know what I mean? I can go in there, drop a bill, eat a good meal, feel good, go home and go to sleep on it.
Sense,
yeah, man. But that's like a choice. I don't want to get stung everywhere I go. I went to a store. Man, this almost happens every day with me. Anytime I go, something happens. But it was marked a certain price.
Yeah.
And I get to the register, it rings up higher. And I said, well, it wasn't marked that price, So I show them, I take a picture and everything. I take them over there and say, this is what is marked. Well, but that's for something else. They forgot to switch the price. I'm like, well, then I'm not willing to pay this price that rang up. I'm willing to pay this price here. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, well, we'll change it. But sometimes they'll be like, well, we have to go with this price here. You know what I do at that point? I say, have a nice day, and I walk out.
I usually if it was me, I just change it like, oh, like my guys made a mistake, so here you go.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's good customer service,
Yeah.
and that's what should be done. It's not my fault they had the wrong thing going on. I'm just
True.
looking at what it's got there. So
Yeah.
don't penalize me because your system is not working like it should. Somebody forgot to switch the price. Okay, then adjust it after because I seen it like that,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted for. Take care of me, then do what you got to do, make it right, and then move on.
Very true.
But yeah, man, I've lost count of how many times I walked off and just left the stuff there because they wanted to sting me like that. Now I'm old school, man. You can't do me like that. Yeah.
If it's the price, it's the price. That's what it is. If there's a mistake, cool. Like help me, and then after it, fix it. Don't penalize me for what someone else did, and then come back and tell me I got to pay for it now because that happened.
Right. And I even had people do it halfway. It's like I seen some marked down. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stock up on them. I'm gonna get like 4 or 5 of them, and that happens at the register. And when they ring it up, it's higher than what it was. I'm like, no, that's not what it said. It's clearly marked, And then they come back. Well, we can give you 2 of them at that price, but the rest of them you're gonna have to. That's no. I don't do business like that. No, that ain't how it works, man. Because I mean, let's just analyze this from a different perspective. With that type of attitude, work in the street.
Oh hell
no. So why should it work? Why should it work in business?
No, you would catch a fade like real quick.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, I'm supposed to pay you this? Oh no! You know what? I don't want to pay this. I'm gonna pay this now.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah, that turns, that goes right real quick.
Oh yeah. People, that's the problem. That's what we're talking about with like a younger generation and people that are like in their teens or 20s right now that don't understand certain stuff. That like, working in a store, dealing with that kind of stuff. People be saying stuff to you, doing stuff, having, and I'm just like you, old school to a point where like, my name might be on my shirt, but I can take it off real quick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. But just hopefully the information that was brought today can open people's eyes up on some, most of it people probably aware of.
Yeah.
They just kind of numb to it. You know what I'm saying? They need to be woke back up and realize that what's going on is really not benefiting us. It's benefiting somebody, but it ain't benefiting us. It's our money, it's our work, and, we put in to get it. We should be the biggest beneficiary. You know what I'm saying? But when you do the math and add up all those little fees and stuff and the taxes, and after after the gross is been adjusted, and then you really look at what you got left. If you take the time and do all that, crunch the numbers, and see what you got left over, most people are gonna be heartbroken.
Oh yeah,
because it's gonna be you're gonna be negative. And some of them might be lucky if they, at sea level, but then the people that are above water, how much above water are they really gonna be? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just bringing this to people's attention so that they can realize what's really going on every day, all day, so we can make our adjustments to come up, man. What you got for that, Baish? Did you freeze on me? Well, looks like Baish froze on me. You good? You good? You there? Okay. Yeah, man. So do you have anything? Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Let me try to reflect on that a little bit. Let me back up. Basically, just kind of paraphrasing, man. We just need to be more about us and how we protect ourselves and our money. And when we do the calculations, I mean, just take the time and sit down and calculate all these little fees and stuff we be getting hit with throughout the week. And then when we do a final analysis of what we actually have, whether it's negative, sea level or above water, then we'll realize how much them little nickel and dimes add up. You know what I'm
True.
saying? So I'm just trying to make people aware of this has been going on, but it's going on now more than it ever was.
Yeah.
So we gotta kind of readjust ourselves so that we can have, the biggest chunk of the money instead of it going everywhere else. What are your thoughts, man?
It's a good thought in theory. But we've been getting taxed since like King Henry. So, it's just more of a point of like people are good with like having their own.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as their pocket is okay,
Mm-hmm.
if they see something happening to someone else, they don't really care.
Man,
It starts to affect them.
Yeah.
So it's good in theory of like a couple of people. Like my grandfather used to always tell me when I was little, he's like, one person can be intelligent and smart. A group of people are stupid. Because it's like it's that mob mentality of like, well, the bank's giving us. It's like, at a store you buy 1 or 2 or 12 packs of soda, you get 3 free. I get free, but you don't know they mark those other ones up.
Yeah, you
like
paying more.
Each.
Yeah,
so
you paying more.
The same amount.
Right.
They just getting rid of product now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how people's mentality are. You see free, you see sale, you just go and do it because you see it.
Yep.
So I think it's a good in theory what you're saying, and it would be great if it could happen. But everybody's always going to look at what's better for their pocket, not what's better in the long run for everyone's. So like I said, it's good in theory, but probably ain't gonna happen anytime soon.
Wow. If you could utilize your thought process right now with any idea that could make that statement alter anyway, what would you come up with?
Alter anyway would have to be something would have to have this happen to some bank that would be horrible towards people to get people to understand that they don't need it when it comes to banks. Taxes and stuff would have to be to a point where when people say taxes go to the police department, trust me, I work for the police department. It doesn't. Schools, it doesn't. I've seen people like superintendents I know that beg for grant money, but that's what your taxes say that it goes to. It doesn't. The way to do it is it's like the George Floyd thing. Some horrible has to happen for people to like open up and see stuff. And that's the horrible part of our, how we are now, but that's just how it is.
But at the end of the day, we really don't know where our money is going, right?
Yep. Very true.
Boom. Man, wow. What you think, man? You like this show?
Yeah, it's cool. You helping people out, giving people knowledge on some stuff that they didn't know or they might not know, or they might just be, a little bit blind to. So, that's cool. I like different shows having do stuff. Like Jukebox's show is like way different. And like my show has like 5 dudes around and sitting at the table, like arguing about stuff and laughing, having, just craziness. Your show is more like informative and stuff that you do, M-Bomb, another guy's show is way different. I like, everyone having their own little niche.
Yeah,
so
man.
Can, like, if you're in a mood to have knowledge, you listen to you. If you want to hear 5 guys be dumb, you listen to me. If you want to hear, Jukebox, come up with weird scenarios and stuff like that, you listen to him. So, it's all good.
So you had a good time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool, man. I'm glad you made it here. Appreciate you being a part of the show today, man. And you're always welcome to come back in the future. Look forward to seeing you again and talking to you again, man. If you got nothing else, I don't think I have anything else, man.
No, I'm good. Just appreciate the call.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Baish, and appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. Had a good time myself. Hopefully everybody know where their money's going, or
Just be sad. That's all I can tell you. Sad.
All right, man. You have a
All right.
good night, Baish. We'll be in
Thank you.
touch, man. Take care. That's life. Looks like we're still rolling, but jukebox. Oh, there we go.